Hello YouTube, today we'll be fixing two beautiful games, The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages for the Game Boy Color. Let's get into it. I was lucky enough to win an auction for these two not working games for $70, as shown next. Let's start by testing them on a Game Boy Advance a couple times, and we have a Nintendo logo, but nothing after that. So now let's test Oracle of Seasons, one of my favorite games from my childhood. I enjoyed this game so much when I was growing up. So we have a Nintendo logo, nothing after that. You can see that Oracle of Seasons is in great condition. The label is pretty much intact. I see a small scratch on the back, but Oracle of Ages is a little bit more damaged. So after removing the screws, we can go ahead and inspect. We'll start with Oracle of Seasons just because it's my favorite. Case is a little bit dirty. And just by checking it, I don't see any broken trace. The board actually looks very nice overall. Let's give it a clean with a Q-tip and IPA. Very quick, all the board, making emphasis on the pins. And just out of curiosity, let's see if the battery works. This battery should have around 3 of voltage, which it is. So it's working. It should hold a safe. And well, let's test it. After the cleaning, let's bring the shell. Let's clean a little bit. Now dry it out of camera and let's test it. Never test your games if you haven't dried the IPA. And we got the Nintendo logo. We got nothing. So it seems like the issue is something different than just a cleaning. One more try. I love this Game Boy. Look how Rayquaza AI turns green when it's on. I love it. I love this design. So let's disassemble this and let's go ahead and try a reflow. It's one of the most common solutions that you can have on any of these games. And what pretty much happens is with time, those joints, that solder gets cold, like it said, and the legs on the chip just don't make a good contact with the board itself. So we're just gonna apply some no cleaning flux on every leg, just a tiny bit. You'll see why in the after we do this procedure. Put more here. And after that, let's bring on iron. I work it on 380 Celsius degrees. Let's put a small amount of solder into the tip, just like that. And start the reflow. Just touch for 1 or 2 seconds and make sure, like you're seeing right now, that the legs fuse with the board. I like to do 5, 6 legs and then add a little bit more of solder to the iron and continue with the rest. Flux, of course, will do its job, which is to make the heat go all the way to the bottom and between, and also to prevent oxidation in the future. We will do this same thing with every single leg on the board. I have mentioned in previous videos that some people like to just like push gently with a tool every single leg to see which one specifically is not making contact. And you can see that because it's gonna move. I personally don't like that because I think that if one of the legs already is not making good contact, what can prevent another leg to do the same thing in the near future? So what I'm doing here is pretty much ensuring that this game, if this is the solution it needs, that this game will work for 10, 20 more years. Remember, these games were released, I think, in 2000 2001, and it was a great experience. As a Legend of Zelda fan, all my life, to be able to bring this colorful adventure on my Game Boy Color everywhere, it was the best. Me and my siblings grew up playing these games and enjoying them very much. Then with the Pascal thing, it was so cool that you can unlock more adventure without having to pay more than just the cartridge itself. Different times, different games, different times. So anyway, go back to the reflow, and we will do this with all the legs on the chip. Like I said, you can do the other way to do this, which is pretty much figure out which leg is not making contact, and you can only reflow that specific leg. I don't like that, but everybody has their own method. This is what works for me, like I always say. This time I didn't add much solder to the tip of the iron, and I didn't reach any leg. I have done that in the past many times. Very easy to fix. You just need to bring your copper braid and put it on top of the solder blob that it's bridging, and add some heat. Put the iron on top of it. That will absorb the excess of solder, and you'll be fine. Just make sure that when you test the game, you don't have any legs that are bridge. I think this is the last part. This is the most difficult, but this kind of work is not difficult at all. Of course, it needs practice, but you'll be fine. I can't believe I got these two games for $70. Individually, each one of them are like $70, so it's gonna be a good amount of profit if I'm able to fix them. This capacitor, also add some just to make sure it's making good contact. And after I'm done, I would like to double check that everything was fine. And this is the fun part. You have to clean it afterwards because of all the flux. Sometimes if your reflow doesn't work, it could be that you didn't clean properly the board. What I like to do is to put a piece of tissue, a paper towel on top of it, and then with IPA and a toothbrush, clean it. Normally after a reflow, you have to try 2-3 times, like I'm doing right now. I tried 2 times and nothing. And on my fourth attempt, let's see what happened. Nintendo logo. Yes, we got game. Look at that. Oh my god, so many memories. I love this game. I can't believe they could create such an amazing adventure on a Game Boy Color game. It's working perfectly. So we are done with The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons. So let's go now and check Oracle of Ages. This is the one that I play secondly, but it had so much fun as well. For starters, we can see that this has more things going on. We can see that on top of the pins there's a mark. I don't know if these are broken traces. You can see there's signs of water damage on the board. BS look good so far, but I'm a little bit concerned about these traces that are marked. I don't know if they are corroded, but something's going on there. Let's go ahead and start with the cleaning. Our all reliable Q-tip and IPA. I'm gonna go ahead and do this very fast because you already see me do this. The backside also looks good. I don't see any broken traces or corroded vias. So I'm a little bit concerned about all of this because it's going to be a lot of time consuming to fix all of those traces that seem to be broken. But let's test with the multimeter. Um, First, we will look at the voltage on the battery. So let's put it into voltage mode. And as we can see, this also has 3.0 volts. So it's fine. It should be working. So now let's go to continuity mode and let's start testing those BS from the pins. Normally, Game Boy Color cartridges, I'm not sure if N64 or Super Nintendo do this as well, but pin number 2 is not connected to anything. Of course, I remember that after I was done checking everything. But this is how I normally do this. Just put one of the testing probes on the pin and go over every single leg of all the chips. Now let's go with pin number 3. We have connection. 4 has connection. 5 has connection. This is okay. Let's test. I heard a beep, so we're good. Let's test the rest. Okay, move forward. So far, so good. Everything has continuity. I don't think those are broken. Let's test this side. BS to BS. I do this because I know that it shouldn't be continuity if the trace is broken because it's just in the middle between the BS. So after testing, I decided that this is probably going to be also a reflow. I don't see that the traces are broken, but time will tell. I would say that also I observed that this leg, the first one to the right of the RAM chip, it's a little bit cold. You can see this. It's like the color is not shiny anymore. So let's reflow everything again. Like I said, I want to avoid this game to be listed on eBay for parts in the near future. So I'll do this very quick just so you guys can see. And I mean, you already know how to do it. There's more videos on the channel about the reflow subject that you can see and you can guide yourself. You need to do this. It's very easy. You just need practice. After that, the same thing with the cleaning, very thoroughly. And after that, we are done. Of course, I let the game dry. And now let's test to see what we got. Look at that. First attempt. Nintendo logo. Yes, we got game as well. This is not going to go for the higher end of the price because it's damaged. But anyways, we fixed the 2 games. Thanks for watching.